Hello and welcome back to the Flat Chat. It's me, Callum, here. I'm here with Heggy. We have Aaron in the background, so you'll be laughing away. We are, of course, doing our Premier League Game Week 16 review. Obviously, there has been all 10 games played. The final game week before the World Cup starts. Of course, we have already done a full match review on Arsenal beating Wolves last night, 2-0. So if you want to watch that, it's already on the channel. But other than that, we may as well get started with the first game that was on. And I was pretty happy with this result, which is crazy to say that, and it just shows how good Arsenal are these days. And Man City lost 2-1 at home at the Etihad to break actually a 16-game win streak at the Etihad, and they lost 2-1 to Brentford.
They always have one of these games this season, though.
They do. I'll hopefully have a few more.
Yeah, it's usually Palace that get the win at the Etihad.
Yeah.
But it was Brentford this time. Ivan Toney silencing Gareth Southgate.
Sure, what was the celebration? Was it? Yeah, fair. And they actually caused a lot of problems though, Brentford. It wasn't just the fact that they nicked it.
Yeah.
Even the expected goals, I think Brentford deserved to win the game.
They actually missed a lot of good chances. Mm-hmm. They missed 2 good chances in the first 5 minutes before they even scored.
Yeah.
I know they scored early, but it literally could have been 3-0 in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Man City have these games where they just look terrible defensively, and they didn't create much going forward. They should have maybe had a penalty, but they scored from the corner anyway.
Yeah, no, I think it was a penalty.
Yeah.
I think actually there was a few cases where they could have had a penalty. But yeah, they did. They'll be pretty annoyed with how the game went. I think they can actually, obviously they could have got a penalty or 2, but they've really got to look at themselves because they were really disappointing.
Yeah.
And a big part of that's probably down to the fact that the World Cup's coming up, players playing with a handbrake on. I'm sure that'll be something we mentioned throughout the video.
Yeah.
Because, yeah.
But even at 1 each, they were just going for it that much that they left a 3-on-2 at the back.
Yeah.
It was a bit crazy. They just desperately wanted to win. I
Yeah.
do respect it, but sometimes you need to be a bit more reserved than putting 10 men in the box for a corner when you're drawing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But I think that it was a bit of disrespect to Brentford, and Brentford really punished them for it.
Yeah.
They could have actually even made it worse with making it 3-1. I think there was a moment in the 100th minute, I think it was at this point, where they're 3-on-1 and somehow Kevin De Bruyne's in the right place to block it off the line.
Yeah.
It was mental and not a good day for the Man City fan.
I saw a meme on Twitter. It was how many minutes are added on at the Etihad, and it was the scoreboard held up until City scores with a +10.
Yeah, to be fair, Laporte was down for about 8 minutes.
Yeah.
It was expected.
There was a few games like that this weekend. There was long injury times, but
Yeah.
we'll move on to a team that got scudded.
What team's
Everton.
that? Oh, of course, yeah. 3-0.
Yes.
Scudded by them in the week and scudded by them at the weekend.
They've got the better B team and the better A team, probably.
Yeah. They're just a better team than Everton. I think Everton, this is they're really starting to show they had a wee turn of form with a few new signings. I think they've made some good signings, if I'm honest. But I just don't think they're there. I think the fact that they're now in a relegation scrap, 14 games in, 15 games in, it's not good, and I think we're going to start again questioning Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
It's coming up again.
We all had them between around 13th and 15th in our pre-season predictions, and they are performing below that.
Yeah.
They're 17th. They're doing exactly the same as they did last season. They're in a relegation dogfight, and there's teams around there that's looking better than them.
Yeah, for sure.
Completely honest.
I mean, Bournemouth were one of them.
Yep.
West Ham, I still expect them to hit some sort of form at some point.
Forest look better than them.
Yep. Even Wolves are getting a new manager.
And Leeds.
Yeah, and Leeds, yeah, for sure.
They are definitely one of the favourites to go down.
I think so too. They're going to have to do some serious business again in January. And I think that Everton fans across social media, I even see some of them crying, just desperate to get Frank Lampard out the door.
Well, we saw it at the game as well.
Yeah.
The fans arguing with the players and Frank Lampard at full time.
Yep.
And even throwing shirts back that were given to the crowd.
Yeah.
It's just unsavoury scenes.
Yeah, it sure is. And I think the fairest thing for us to do, because obviously we don't particularly like Everton that much. I think they're a bit of a horrible club. That's a bit unfair. That is very unfair. But I think what we should do is maybe during the World Cup and just in the lead up to the the second half of the season near enough starting after the World Cup. We should probably get Jacob on here because he is an Everton fan to tell us what the actual issues are, what are his biggest issues. And I think a big one is that he said to me in private is the owners.
Yeah. That could be a long video.
Yeah, it definitely could. It really could bash them on that one. But I think we'll move on now to their City rivals who did get a win and they needed it. And that is Liverpool winning 3-1 to Southampton. Heggie, take us away.
Well, there's only one man we can talk about.
Darwin Núñez.
Yes, what a player. He came from Benfica to the Big Reds.
Exactly, he definitely did. And he gave us a show, didn't he?
Yeah.
He gave us a big show.
He got 2 goals and he nearly set up another goal. It was really good play, the back heel. Mm-hmm. But I think you've said in the past, give this boy any time to think and he's going to miss it.
Yeah.
Give him a snapshot and he's scored.
Yeah, for sure.
We saw that twice.
Definitely, that is what he is. And I think he has got so much potential to be great. He has got the physical attributes. He can put the ball in the back of the net. He's tall. I mean, he has the makings of a good striker. Let's put it that way. But his decision making is that's where he falls short.
Do you think that comes with age?
I think it does, and I think that's why Liverpool fans are raving about this guy because they see the potential he could have.
You can have more patience with a player like that.
And even obviously he's in a really good team, but he is now scoring goals. And maybe it's starting for him. I think he will be a superstar for one day, or a superstar for somebody, even if it's not Liverpool. I just think he's got to maybe work on his decision making, and I think who better to help him with that than Jurgen Klopp and this Liverpool side. So
definitely.
But I think Liverpool, they needed this win, but there were some big saves from both keepers. To be fair, was it Bazunu in goals? Made a really good save from Salah. And then, of course, Alisson.
Yeah. Bazunu could have done better with the first one, though. He was scrambling across.
Yeah, it was. I don't even think Firmino's gone for goal with that.
And I think Alisson could have maybe done a wee bit better with the Southampton goal. But
he got caught in no man's land.
Yeah, but they both definitely made up for it.
Oh, no, Alisson made about 3 or 4 world-class saves.
That's what happens when you shave your beard.
That's what
you
happens.
grow superpowers.
I didn't have a clue if it was 7 goals because he looks so different. But no, seriously, I think if we're now quickly reviewing the Premier League season, I think he's been the best goalkeeper in the league this season.
That could maybe be a video.
Definitely could be, but for me, that's who I would consider.
Liverpool will be happy with this, where they are in the league right now.
For how poorly they've
because they were down in 13th at one point. Now they're up to 6th. They've got a wee winning streak going. Teams around them are losing. They probably will make a push for top 4.
Yeah, no, I think they definitely will. I think they've got a better chance of getting top 4 than Man United, and we've seen Man United get some good wins as well in the past few weeks. So we will move on now to Nottingham Forest. Again, Heggie, I will let you take away this one.
Well, they got the 1-0 win. A much needed win because they were bottom of the table before the game week started. Now they're hot on the tails of Everton.
Yep.
I don't really know what to say about this one. Did we all predict a Forest win or a draw, wasn't it?
I think I predicted a draw, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Or did I? It was either that or a Palace win. I definitely didn't predict a Forest win.
Yeah, the Palace have had a funny wee season. They won 5, drew 4, and lost 5. People were expecting them to be top 10. They're not quite there yet.
I think they will.
Yeah,
I do think they will. I think this is just a wee blip. They obviously missed a penalty, and I think if that penalty goes in, I think they'll hold on. I think they get a second at that point.
Yeah, maybe. It was a momentum shifter.
For sure. It for sure was. I'm glad to see that goal was given though. Morgan Gibbs White. It was so close, and I think he's not really getting any advantage from that.
Yeah.
And when they draw the lines, you just never can be sure that they're really drawing the right lines, can you?
Yeah, I 100% agree. We said last week as well, they need Morgan Gibbs White to drag them out a hole, and they got the winner.
For sure.
So, he clearly watches the flat chat and had a word with himself.
I think you're right. I think you definitely are right. Aaron in the background, he must have tweeted him or something. Cheers for that, Aaron.
Yeah, we had words.
Good man. But yeah, no, it's Forest. Obviously, as you said, they're now 18th, but they're a point behind, obviously, Everton and West Ham, and then only a couple of points off even 13th.
Yeah.
So they really could fire up the table if they get a win when they come back after World Cup.
Yeah, the table's so congested down there. You can win 2 games when you're 18th and be in the top half if results go your way.
For sure. And we will move on now to an emphatic win for the Spurs. Let's put it that way. That's the word. That's the word of the day. Emphatic, because it was 4-3. They were behind 3 times in this game.
Yep.
Crazy. So
maybe Conte also listens to the flat chat and said, you know what, those boys talk nonsense saying I'm a loser and have a loser's mentality. Because it is good resilience to come from behind.
it is.
And they've done that a few times now.
It's
this
every
season.
week, Heggie.
Yeah.
It's not a few times. It's every week. They are. Conte's football is to be resilient and have the world class players at the top end of the pitch that will get you the goals.
Yeah.
That isn't what they're getting this season, but they're getting results. And it's a bit. You've got to be honest. Spurs fans are actually pretty annoyed about this one, by the way. A lot of people on social media, yeah, they've conceded 3 goals at home to Leeds.
Yeah.
But they've won the game, and obviously they're relieved at the same time. But it's becoming it's a slog to watch them every week. Is what I was hearing from Spurs fans. If you're a Spurs fan and you disagree with that, and you think, "Oh, this is great. I love this exciting football. We just don't know if we're going to win or not." Then of course comment below. Tell me I'm an idiot. But I'm an Arsenal fan, so screw you.
I think this sums up Leeds' season perfectly. This game,
it does.
Utter chaos.
Yeah. Did they not win last week by the same scoreline?
Yeah, they beat Bournemouth 4-3.
Yeah, so it's swings and roundabouts, sort of thing. So.
And maybe a new hidden gem for Tottenham, Bentancur in midfield.
Yeah, he's really coming onto that game.
He's dragging them out a hole.
Yeah.
This is a few weeks now. He's scored the winner.
Yeah.
And on you go. Sorry.
I'd say they weren't particularly great finishes. I think actually for the winner, it's brilliant from Kulusevski.
Yeah,
he's the one that deserves the praise for that goal. That was excellent from him. And again, you can tell that he's an Arsenal fan with the way he plays.
Just plays like Saka, like his hero,
like his idol, Bukayo Saka. But no, I think Leeds disappointed, of course. Rodrigo played well, but I do want to mention. I think the Lurie again is a crap goalkeeper.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I don't rate him.
To be asked.
I don't rate him. But there are some serious players in that Tottenham team in the top end of the pitch that are just, they really are carrying this team. And yeah, Harry Kane, man. Kulusevski, they really have missed him, haven't they? And you're right, Bentancur is really coming onto that game.
Still 8 points behind though.
And with a game, and they played an extra game. Yeah. We'll move on from them now though, before I start getting feisty. We move on to West Ham now though, who did lose at home, and the home form seems really poor at the moment.
Yeah.
And Leicester obviously turning around their season.
Well, that's 3 losses in a row for West Ham, 2 wins in a row for Leicester. Leicester was actually the team we were talking about a few weeks ago. They were in the relegation zone. We said if they come in a few games, they'll get up there, up to 13th.
Yeah.
So they are getting dragged out of a hole by the young Englishmen in their team, Barnes and Maddison. They are both playing really good football.
Yeah.
Do you think either of them will be getting a big move in January?
I think Maddison could end up at Newcastle. I really do. I see where their weaknesses are in Newcastle. I think it would be that sort of third midfielder that kind of play maybe the right
Joe
now,
Willock role,
perhaps, or even Sean Longstaff.
Yeah.
Where he's playing, I think that could be a Maddison. I do think Barnes will get a move as well elsewhere. I just don't think he's going to go as soon as Maddison. He's not as. Yeah, I think Maddison's wanted more than a lot more clubs.
He's more of a finished product.
He is. He gets the goals, he gets the assists, he's the stat man, and that's what football is really all about, isn't it, at the end of the day? But now Leicester really have turned it around, and West Ham are struggling. We've got to talk about David Moyes could be under some serious pressure now.
Yeah, definitely. Because they only scored 12 goals.
Yeah. And
that's not like West Ham.
No.
Last season they scored a lot of goals. A lot of them came from Bowen, who's not been playing as good.
No.
And they were expecting Scamacca to score a lot of goals, who hasn't started on fire, but he might come into a game in the second half of the season. Is he? No, in fact, he's Italian, he's not going to the World Cup. But no, 2 good goals for Leicester in this one.
Yeah, very good goal. Very good goal from Maddison. Again, I'm going to say it, emphatic finish into the roof of net. And then obviously he does come off. I think it was more they just didn't want to keep him playing because they don't miss in this World Cup. He was so happy to get into the squad.
Well deserved.
Definitely well deserved. But the way he put a post on social media of himself in a England top when he was a wee boy, I think it's great to see him go. Even as a Scotsman. Scotsman, not a Scottishman. It's great to see him play because he deserves it. He really does. And
Barnes as well with another good goal.
Yeah, under the keeper, decent. Tielemans missing a penalty though.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Definitely a penalty again. VAR did do its job well in that one.
Well done, VAR.
About time.
job.
About time.
Yeah.
We'll now move on to another team In fact, two teams. One team struggling at the moment for form, for sure, and that's Chelsea, who did go to the... What's the stadium called? St James's Park, and they lost 1-0.
Yes.
There's a struggle there with that one. It's because it used to be called the Sports Direct Arena. What's that all about? But you know, Newcastle continue their winning form, and Chelsea obviously, yeah, they're really slumping now.
5 in a row for Newcastle.
Crazy.
They're an absolute threat for anyone up there, anyone in the league. They've still only lost one game. Only them and Arsenal.
Yep. They even drew with City, remember? 3-1 up, weren't they?
And Chelsea, 3 losses in the bounce. Looking rough for Potter. A lot of big Chelsea fans Chelsea fan YouTubers want them out already. But nah, it was an absolute bore fest the first half. Probably one of the worst halves of football I've seen in the league this season. Eddie Howe's clearly had a serious talking to with his players at half time, and they came out absolutely flying. And you could tell that as well at the end of the game with the tackles they were putting
it was ridiculous. It was some serious leg breakers. I was sitting there going, this is disgusting. It's disgusting. I mean, you look back and go, that's brilliant, but I thought that was horrible. They were trying to break legs, and the World Cup is next week.
It was the Bruno Gomes one that was really out of order. He's absolutely jumped in 2-footed, and the ref's not even gave a foul.
Actually horrible. The handbags at the end, I was loving that. All for that. A bit of handbags, and that's no one's going to get hurt in that. Because there's always those peacemakers, those pricks, just not wanting to see a scrap.
But Newcastle looking really good again.
Yeah.
Willock, great finish.
Yeah.
It was actually a poor touch for Almiron, I thought.
Yeah.
And Willock's just absolutely blasted at home. But no, Newcastle looking unbelievably
and
solid.
I think you mentioned it as well. Trippier, again, brilliant performance. He's dead on finishing, starting for England.
Do you think he starts most of the games?
I think he will.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be one of the main men for England. I really, really do. I think he's been so good.
Yeah.
There's no conversation to be had about him or Trent or even Ben White. I think just Trippier's just been excellent this season.
But even saw it at the World Cup when the last one.
He rates him.
Yeah.
He plays him left back. And I think that even if he doesn't play him right back, he plays him left back. I think he's that good for him.
He's probably the best set piece taker as well in the squad.
Well, Trent, I would say he has a chance, but again, Trent's not going to be on the pitch.
Yeah.
Most likely anyway.
Who do you think will be White in the right and Trippier on the left, or Sean Trippier?
I think Sean Trippier will be more likely. I don't know why you'd move Trippier unless you really want to try and squeeze someone in the right back position.
He's the most informed player in the squad. Just play him in his right position.
Yeah, for sure. But Newcastle very happy. Chelsea, obviously, you were saying how you think that Potter can be under pressure. I don't think he will be. I think you probably agree.
Yeah.
But Chelsea fans not wanting him to leave. Where do you think the problems lie then?
It's hard to say. This is not his squad.
Yeah.
We will say that. He has inherited this squad after the transfer window. Let's see what they're like after a few windows, I would say, after January and the summer.
Similar to what you just said about Arteta.
Exactly. Look where Arsenal are now.
Yeah.
Top. Trust the process. That's what I would say to Chelsea fans.
I think you're spot on there. I think another thing you've got to bear in mind is their most important player is the right back.
Yeah.
Reece James has been injured for a while, and for most of the time that Potter's been there, to be honest.
And
Chilwell is obviously injured now as well. That's the most important position for them. It's their wing backs.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think that's what Potter plays, but I'm sure they'll just be as important in a back four.
Definitely.
I think when we're actually looking at Chelsea's issues, though, it's since Todd Bowley's come in, it's been mistake after mistake.
Yeah.
You feel like with the amount of decisions you have to make, you're expecting one of them to get one of them right. You know? Roll the dice, but he's just got everything wrong. And I think the first mistake, obviously, I do rate Potter, but the first mistake was getting rid of Tuchel.
Yeah.
2 back-to-back games they lost, and they thought, yeah, that's it.
I know.
He just wasn't his man, though, was he? Was
there not rumours that they fell out or something before?
But it might have been that.
I can't remember fully.
I still think it's mental. Yeah, 60% win ratio. I think it's outrageous that they got rid of him, because you can definitely see that Chelsea fans are. That's probably why Potter's getting it as much as he is, because of the man they got rid of.
Yeah.
Probably should have given him a wee bit more time.
I know, especially with the credit he had in the bank. He won a Champions League with them, got them to numerous cup finals.
Yeah.
Domestically.
It's just unfortunate on penalties.
Yeah.
That's not his fault.
Yeah. I really rate Tuchel, and whoever gets him next will be lucky.
Yeah, for sure. I think you're right. There. We'll move on to the Sunday games. Only 2 games to go now, because obviously we did do the match review, as I mentioned earlier, Arsenal against Wolves. But yeah, we'll start off with Brighton, who did lose at home to Villa. A resurgent Villa with a new manager. It could be the new manager bounce.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Good evening indeed. It wasn't looking like a good evening though in the first minute when Martinez gave a dodgy pass to Luiz, who didn't look over his shoulder, and McAllister nicked in, scored. Wasn't a foul in my opinion.
No.
I know the Villa players were going absolutely mental, probably because it was just the first minute.
Yeah.
But Douglas Luiz just has to be more wise there that there's a player coming, and the ball has to be fizzed at him harder.
Yeah, and I think that both are correct. I think that Martinez has been told to play that pass. I think Good Evening would tell him to make those sort of passes as a manager. Unai Emery, I'm not going to call him Good Evening every time I talk about him. I think he's instructed him to play that ball. That's what he wants. I know this from his time at Arsenal. If you remember Petr Cech passing the ball at a play, for nearly into his own net, but it went out for a corner.
Was Unai Emery there as well when Xhaka did it?
Yeah.
Was that the same
Guendouzi
time?
too, yeah. That's just how he instructs his team to play. But yeah, I think they showed what they can do, Villa. They've got good players, we all knew this, and that's why we felt they were underperforming. But yeah, Danny Ings with a penalty. Silly from Dunk. Was it McGinn who's actually been getting a lot of heat recently?
Yeah.
He won the penalty.
It did go down fairly dramatically.
He went down in stages.
But he's been absolutely clattered.
Yeah.
It's just so silly. Like, he's going nowhere. The keeper's probably getting it. And he got a hand to it as well, the keeper, the actual penalty. I thought he saved it, and I've got him in fantasy. I was nearly doing laps of this flat.
That's a big point.
Yeah.
That's a big point tally for you.
But no, he conceded it. Do you know a stat about him, actually? He's never saved a Premier League penalty.
Oh well.
Crazy.
I don't think Ramsdale has either, to be honest. not at Arsenal anyway.
It's because Arsenal
they're
Arsenal, so they get all the penalties.
Yeah. It was beforehand we went for Arsenal with like David Luiz and that at the club. You're just like, we just give him a penalty against him. We don't have those players anymore. I think that's what Arteta's done. We'll get rid of the unlikable players.
Yeah.
Because the refs don't like these guys.
Exactly.
He somehow kept Xhaka though, and he's come onto a game. So
Xhaka's become likeable.
Yeah, true. He's like, it's the redemption arc, isn't it?
Yeah, Arteta's rubbing off on him.
He's the Theon Greyjoy, the Jamie Lannister of the Arsenal. But yeah, Villa, got a good win.
Yeah.
Very good win. And we'll move on to the final game. Another really, really important win, and a 2-1 victory that, shockingly enough, all six of us predicted, because we predict 2-1 United every week. But it did come late for them.
Yeah, from the new star boy, potentially. Garnacho. He looks like a cocky wee prick.
He does. The arrogance is just oozing out of him.
But I love to see that. I like players like that. I think we need more players like that that are young. Come out your shell, have a bit of personality, and show us what you can do on the pitch. And he definitely did that.
Yeah. His thing is, for sure. It's all right, though, if you've got the right players around you to rein you back in when you need to. I think Bruno Fernandes was having a wee word in his ear. You've got Lisandro Martinez kind of taking him under his wing. You can see that even on the pitch. But a really good goal from him.
Yeah.
Really fast. You could tell it was a winger trying to defend as well. Was it
Deckled over Reed?
Yeah, I think that's who it was. Great finish, great ball from Ericsson. Well left from Shaw as well. And it's just a good finish, and it's a great time to score.
You said he was offside, didn't you, Shaw?
I think Shaw was offside. That's why he left it, which was good from him. But yeah, what else can you say about it? Man United get a good win.
Ericsson made his first goal as well.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good wee finish actually for Ericsson. He's come flying in at the back post when I think Bruno's tried to shoot and it's deflected. But no, Ericsson gambling, getting his first goal, really good.
Yep.
And then, Dan James thought he'd
what a story that would have been.
Put a dagger into the heart of the Man U fans before the late winner. But there's one thing we need to talk about in this game, and it's how happy it is for us to see Man U winning when Speed is there.
Oh, he was brilliant. Have you seen obviously you've seen, I watched it with you, what was I asking you for? The interview with him and Jeff Shreves.
Yeah, it's so good.
They were both excellent. Jeff Shreves really played well as well with it. He was really enjoying Speed. Speed, honestly, he is a superstar.
Yeah.
How are we talking about him in a football review video? He's
knows?
that good. That's how big a star this guy is. And I think he will meet Ronaldo within the next month.
He has to.
He has to, definitely, for sure.
He has to go to Qatar, get in that Portuguese changing room, and get a wee cuddle from his hero.
Especially now that it's been seen on Sky Sports, the way he's seen that. The way he dropped to his knees when he found out Ronaldo wasn't in the team. I genuinely think Ronaldo will want to meet this guy now, even if he is a nutcase.
Well, he got a signed shirt from him the other day.
Did he? It was from his son, Ronaldo's son, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was what he was wearing at the game today, actually. I saw a lot
Who wears a signed shirt?
By Ronaldo. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying...
Now it's worth more.
Yeah.
Because Speed's worn it too.
Is,
yeah, genuinely.
It was match worn as well.
Yeah.
But people on Twitter were saying, why is this idiot wearing the shirt? And all the Twitter police were out saying, let him do what he wants, it's his shirt. And unbelievable seeing speed. You made the game more enjoyable.
That's for sure. We'll talk quickly about Fulham though. Of course, they did actually play some good football, pressed really well in the second half. I think Paulinho got the man of the match as well.
Yeah, that was before the winner, wasn't it?
It was before the winner. I don't think you're not going to give it to Garnacho, but
no.
If you're a Man United fan, you're definitely giving it to Garnacho.
You'd probably give it to Eriksen. Could be a goal and an assist.
Probably.
It's after the game.
But they'll be really heartbroken by that.
Yeah.
Just a lot of hard work went into that game, but Man United nicking it late with a potentially a rising superstar for them, Garnacho.
Yeah, but Fulham getting into the World Cup break, 9th place.
Oh, they'll be happy with that.
100%.
Definitely happy with that.
They do play really good football, and we've seen that they've scored 24 goals this season.
And they've also not had Mitrovic for a few weeks now.
Yeah, I think he's back after the World Cup.
He should be. I imagine he should be. So yeah, there'll be a lot of players back. Players like Luis Diaz will be back. We haven't seen much of Matip recently as well. Emile Smith-Rowe's not played a minute near enough. So there's some really good players to be back, and of course those fullbacks for Chelsea. So after the World Cup, there could be a lot of interesting stories, and there could be a turn of form for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see for what's going to happen with that.
Definitely.
But other than that, we're going to enjoy the World Cup, and until next time, take it easy.
Take it easy.